afraid of no ghosts.
What is good, y'all? Welcome back to Chris and Ralph Productions. As always, I am Chris,
And Ralph,
and today, Ralphie, we're gonna be doing our spoiler review for
Ghostbusters
Frozen
Frozen
Empire.
Empire.
Literally scared to death? So cool.
Yes, sir. So this is the sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife, which came out in 2021.
Yep.
Okay. Before we get into the spoiler review for the new Frozen Empire, we really enjoyed the first one, right?
Yep.
The only thing we didn't enjoy was some of the audio, which we'll get into later.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll get into that. Um, but let's go ahead and jump into the spoiler review. So this film picks up uh, essentially right where the first one left off. We're back in New
In New
York
York
City,
City.
right where the
Yep.
original Ghostbusters took place.
Yep.
Did you enjoy that? That them being in New York City and all that?
Yep.
Yeah, me too. I think Ghostbusters obviously is synonymous for being in New York. That's where they started. That's where a lot of the ghost busting comes from. But I think overall, I just really enjoyed them being back in New York City. I had no problem with them being in Oklahoma.
Yep.
I thought it was different,
Yep.
a different type of scenery, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you want to start off with, Ruffy? I see
So
you have some stuff right there you wanted to get into.
Ralph notes.
Ralph's notes, yes, sir. Where did you
So
want to
yeah.
start off at?
Yeah, we could like start with plot points.
Plot points. Okay. So the movie, obviously, this is spoilers. So
Yeah.
essentially, what this movie does, it sort of, uh, I want to say, It questions the ability of the younger Ghostbusters in a way. Our main character is Phoebe Spangler, and she's obviously a young girl, and she loves ghostbusting. That's what she does. But a lot of the times there are times where it just things get messed up, things break. There are consequences to your actions, and for her being so young, the mayor of New York City basically tells her you can't be a Ghostbuster until you're 18, which is in 3 years because I think she's like 15 in this movie. So I think that's essentially the heart of this film is Phoebe trying to wrestle with the fact that she can't be a prominent Ghostbuster, and obviously, we see her mother, who is Kaylee. We see Paul Rudd's character,
Mr.
Mr.
Goobers. Mr.
Gooberson.
Gooberson.
What's his actual name? I forget his actual name.
Yeah.
Let's call him Paul for Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Um, and also Finn Wolfhard's character, which is Trevor. There are main Ghostbusters, and throughout the film, we just start to play catch up with the OG Ghostbusters. Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts. We just start to see where their lives are at, and it actually feels good to see it, right?
Yeah.
What are some things that you enjoyed about the story or about the characters? What's some things that you really enjoyed overall?
Yeah, for me though, I do like the story of what it was what it's trying to do,
Mm,
like with the family,
yeah.
and yeah, but I guessing that's about it.
Okay. When you want to go ahead and jump into characters,
Yeah.
we could jump into characters. I know you made a list of some of your favorite characters. Who were some of your favorite characters and moments and things like that throughout the film?
So yeah, so my favorite though is like probably like trying to be like a father.
With Paul Rudd,
Yeah.
yeah, his character and Phoebe,
Yeah.
she didn't see him as a father figure, but throughout the story,
Yeah.
it was
I
nice.
absolutely like that movie.
Yes, me too.
So yeah. And also so there's some scenes that are very funny which is like
Nadim.
yeah, Nadine try practicing with his fire.
Yeah, so Nadim, played by Kumal Najani, he's in Eternals and stuff like that. His character, he's an ancient warrior. His bloodline's an ancient warrior,
Yeah.
so he was pretty funny throughout.
Yeah, and also scenes of him like try practicing with his fire. Yeah.
Yes,
Which is also sort of key points to the to like the villain ghost.
yes. The villain, which is sort of like the name of this movie is Frozen Empire. So
Yeah.
essentially, the villain is freezing Earth, freezing New York, and he essentially just wants to take over the world. A very simple villain, really not much to actually follow in terms of that. But I thought the villain looked menacing.
Yeah.
And I think it was, very interesting. The design, I really enjoyed the design. I
Yeah.
thought the design was pretty badass. Well, before we get into more characters, let's
Yeah.
get into the actual, the feeling of the story.
Yeah.
So for Frozen Empire, like I mentioned earlier, my favorite thing is that we get to see, the OG Ghostbusters and essentially follow them more in their lives. Because in Ghostbusters Afterlife, whenever we caught up with them, we only saw just a glimpse of what their lives looked like. We didn't really, take time to see what they've been up to after all these decades. For Ray, Dan Aykroyd's character, he owns a shop in New York City, and his whole thing is getting relics that are, chained with, souls and stuff. And I love his story. I love the way he's portrayed in this movie. Bill Murray, Dr. Peter. I think Bill Murray's character, he is just a goofball. That's what Bill
Yeah.
Murray is. But my favorite of the OG Ghostbusters is Ernie Hudson Winston. He is the most involved. Him and Ray, they're the most involved in the Ghostbusters still. Ernie sort of oversees the Ghostbusters, his company and stuff. He's funding things, so he's really involved in the story, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
What did you think of the OG Ghostbusters and what they had to do throughout the movie?
So yeah, like I absolutely do like Winston and Winston some plot points in the movie,
Hmm.
and also oh way though like doing the scene though, which is like with him a podcast like with the relic so, and also those scenes of him like a podcast he's using and hammer to this to break the relics.
Yeah. No, that was Ray, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ray has a podcast, and the podcast, Logan Kim, he breaks stuff with a hammer. You got to watch the movie to
Y-
sort of understand
Yeah.
that. Another plot point that takes place throughout this film is Phoebe, played by McKenna Grace. She sort of finds this, friendship with a ghost played by Emily Allen Lind. McKenna Grace and Emily, their characters essentially just find a friendship. And I don't know if there was like a sort of like love story relationship that was developing. They sort of touched on it, they sort of alluded to it, but they never really actually said the words of what that relationship was developing to. But Phoebe, her character, like I mentioned, she's lost throughout the film. She's trying to find her place within the Ghostbusters, and obviously, she's since our main character, we spend the most time with her. And I think Phoebe, she is obviously going through a lot in terms of not being able to be a Ghostbuster officially. But throughout the film, she starts to find her way back into what she loves. Um, so what else did you have right there that you wanted to get into? You just had characters. Did you
Yeah.
have scenes and stuff you wanted to get into?
Yeah. Scene. So as I already mentioned about about the hammer and the fire scene,
Hmm.
and so yeah, those like I do like the opening of the film.
Yes, it
Like,
starts off with the Ghostbusters chase.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely do enjoy it, and also the Marshmallow Man scene.
Okay, the little marshmallow.
Yeah.
I'm a cuss right now. Little assholes. Those little boogers. They're something else. Oh, and Slimer.
Oh, yeah, Slimer.
Slimer. The practical effects with Slimer.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a little bit as well. But yeah, those little marshmallow dudes. They're mean.
Yep.
They are mean. They haven't changed just one bit. They're just like their father. Just mean.
Yeah, and also those like a post credit scene of them stealing a truck.
Yeah, the post credit scene of them stealing a truck was absolutely hilarious. Like it's just them being what they do.
Yeah.
What else did you have?
So yeah, like I guessing that's about it.
Okay. There was something that I wanted to mention, but I completely forgot. Um, oh, the mayor of New York. He was just not a good person throughout the film. He was constantly trying to get the Ghostbusters shut down, and he successfully did at a certain point. But let's go ahead and get into the ending. What did you think of the ending of this film? Did you enjoy it? What is something that you liked that you overall liked?
So yeah, for me, though, I did like the ending.
Hmm.
which is like somewhere like I think it's just like Phoebe. It called like Paul what a Dan.
Yes, Phoebe. So Phoebe, she and all the Ghostbusters trapped the ghost
Yeah,
and saved the city. I will say one of my complaints of this film is that they were being praised for something that they caused, but it's a Ghostbusters movie.
yeah,
The Ghostbusters cause havoc a lot of the times, but that's it is what it is at that point. But yes, Phoebe calling Paul Rudd dad was very sweet, a very nice moment, from sure for the audience as well. Um, so yeah, guys, that's pretty much our spoiler review.
yeah,
Overall, I had a good time.
yeah. Me
I think
too.
the critics were really harsh on this film, but that's them.
Also, one last thing about Ghostbusters was an Empire.
Well,
At least it's not loud this time.
yes, like we mentioned at the beginning of this film, whenever we saw Ghostbusters Afterlife, in theaters in 2021,
Yeah,
I had to cover my ears at during a good chunk of the movie for some reason. The system in our the sound system in our theater for us cranked up to the absolute max, and at
yeah,
certain points it wasn't enjoyable because of how ear-piercingly loud it was.
yeah,
You probably think, oh, that's what I want, loud movies. I like loud movies too,
yeah,
like, as much as the next person, but this is the only time in my ever like my movie experience where it was like bad, where it was like, what the hell? But this one was a lot better.
yeah.
Yes, the sound for this one was a lot better. Anything else you wanted to add, Ralphie?
I guess it does matter.
All right, guys. So yeah, overall, that's pretty much what we enjoyed. What rating were you gonna give it?
I'm gonna give it like somewhere between like 7 or 8.
7 or 8? I'll go 7 as well out of 10. I think it's a fun movie. Is it the greatest Ghostbusters movie ever? No, but it's really fun.
Yeah,
So guys, if you're still watching, please like, share, and
and
subscribe.
subscribe.
As always, guys, I'm Chris.
And wow,
I'll catch you next time. Peace.
peace.
I'm afraid of